start testing the mic now. Little test, little test. See if it works. Test. Testing. Oh, there we go. So I just read exactly what you said and was saying all good things, of course. And my mic was off, but everything's cool. I think everything's good. Let me just double check. No audio. Cannot hear you. Yeah, I should be good now. Yeah, I'm back. Okay. All right, you can hear me? All right, so here's the deal. See the timer? I'm working on it, man. I'm working on it. Uh, so Lucky, what I was saying, Lucky, just mentioned that he had his phone in his hand when the notification just went off. So it's like, it's perfect timing, dude. Perfect timing. This is kind of one of the things I want to do and have the timer stay there. Hopefully you can hear me. Just give me a yes or no. Should be good. I just turned it on. Yeah, so it should be good. All right, here's the deal. This is exactly its first time. I don't have a name for it. I don't think I'll have a name for it. It's just one of those things I mentioned before. Like I want to pop in for 30 minutes, have a timer. So if whoever comes in, Lucky's number one. Take that to the bank, right? You heard it here first. Lucky's number one. But it's one of those things. I just want to like jump in, have a timer. So if you come in, somebody comes in like 15 minutes later, they see that I've been streaming for you assume I've been streaming for 15 minutes, and there's 15 minutes left in the stream. So it's not like a huge like commitment whatsoever. None of it's a commitment. Blah blah blah. I always say that. It's always a blessing that I have even one person. Lucky I called you number one, and a blessing. Look at that. Take that to the bank. It's not worth anything, not even an IOU. But I want to share my screen essentially. Cool, you can hear me. Uh and I want to share my screen and just kind of work on a thumbnail. Like I finished the video today, uploaded last night, went to bed at like 5 a.m. Surprise. I actually just took a nap, man sized nap, of course. And gotta have my 7 o'clock monster, of course. Yeah, I wonder why I can't sleep. Yeah, neither here nor there. All right, so the goal is I went through Premiere Pro. I just made it kind of simple today. I didn't like over exaggerate, like have to be somewhere, go somewhere, and do something. I just kind of wanted to upload it. I got to work tomorrow, so I figured I'd upload today. Maybe get some reply to some comments between today and later on this evening, tonight, and all that other stuff. And then like I got to work tomorrow, so the goal is I want to. I'm going to share my screen after I pick up. I'm going to Lightroom, so this is how I'm going to edit. I'm going to use between Lightroom, Photoshop, and then maybe Canva, like old school. But I'm going to grab the. I did a screenshot of it, and I had my text in, so I got to change that. All right, I'll show you exactly kind of what I want to do. I'm thinking. All right, I'm gonna over here, photo, and then share. So now, when I switch my scenes, the timer should stay the same. Let's go. Yeah, did it. Did it. Firing one off. Oh, damn, that's pretty good. I'll take a screenshot of that. Quick fire and firing one out. Probably has to be related to fire, right? Hmm. Hmm. Okay. So this whole the video is just me riding around. I shot Google Maps and I put a bunch of addresses in. I think it ended up being more than 9 overall, but 9 addresses, and just they were like supposedly like must see. It was must see TV. It was must see like Halloween decorations, and you could kind of touch on it. I think I might have touched on it on a live stream yesterday, but it's basically oh, Google's like, no, I didn't even talk to you, Google. Go away. Whatever. It was based on like if people would drive by, they'd put the address in, like it was a must see. Some of them they were like rated to like I guess the degree of like must see versus like they have decorations out, and you could also put in your address if you wanted to. Like, it was called a haunt map, similar to what they're doing Christmas, and I'll do that. I'll torture myself, and you'll hear more about that in the video. But it's you could put yourself in too. It's almost like writing yourself in for an award. So, like some of them, I was like, "That's it." I think it was one or two. I was like, "That's it." Well, I shouldn't say that, but that's not that doesn't compare to a must see from the other ones. So anyway, biggest thing for me is like I have two monitors. Well, I have a laptop that's more color correct, and then the monitor itself. I haven't edited on this, like color graded on this monitor, HP, but I it was funny. I started messing with like the color on one, and when I brought it over, it was like my skin tone, and I got my skin tone right, and then I moved it over to the what's supposedly the more color corrected monitor and all that stuff, and I was like a zombie. So that was a different video, like 3 or 4 videos ago at this point, and yeah, I was like green, like decaying color. Yeah, so be careful. Make sure your monitor's right. I would have uploaded that and then got to YouTube and been like, oh wait, that's not right. Although here it would have been perfect. So now let's the biggest thing with this picture, I just went, like I said, just a quick 23 minutes. Can he stop? When it goes to 0, it actually it pauses, turns red, and counts up. I was like overtime. How about that? The biggest thing is I want, anything with a thumbnail, not that I know how to do them, but I want it to stand out. And I kind of do my own thing anyway. So this is to, I guess, I'm peering into the sun. So I need to change. It's in the shadow. So it may not be the best one. It's just literally one I picked. And I might hold myself to it. I got 30 minutes to do this, and it is what it is at the end. But peering into the shadows here, into the sun, the trees right there is probably not the best one, but we might just roll with it and see what we can do. They call it, see what they can do in post. In YouTube, like you got to exaggerate a little bit, so it won't look as appealing. Like if you were to take a picture and send it to somebody, and I'll go over that when I get to the clarity and everything. So I'm gonna bump that up. If I darken this down, obviously that enhances the shadows, all the blacks. So I may, I'll see. Love this curve. The thing I need to have, I don't even remember what I titled it. I think it was like Honda Shadow 750 on the hunt for Halloween. That might be it. I might have just nailed it. Might have been nailed it. Probably not the best screenshot, but we're gonna go with it for a little bit longer. Matter of fact, I can share this too. This. So this is the property that I took screenshot from. I can go. This was another one I was gonna do. because there's Georgie from It. I don't think I have a good. Good to see my acting debut. Act out a story. You were here yesterday. You would have seen it. That was the Bible school story. So here's the other one. I was going to do something like this. I can go. This would be probably a better. So that's option 2, somewhere on that property. I'd have to be quick. 20 minutes holding the feet to the fire. Temperature. And I wish the sun was on a. So vibrance and saturation. Boom, here's a little class. Saturation raises the colors, like the increases the colors for the whole picture, whereas vibrance brings the colors up. So if your deepest, richest colors are here, it brings your dullest colors up towards that, and then eventually raise everything. Might be explaining that right. So instead of raising all the colors up, oh, you know what? Probably won't look good. But if I brought it all the way, I can't see it. That's like that Night of the Living Dead. We were talking about that movie, Night of the Living Dead, 1968. I think we'll go this route. Oh, yeah. Oh, it changes the saturation without causing an unpleasant color cast. That's exactly it. All right, there we go. We've got rid of the shadows. We've overcome the shadows. And then have like that orange. I think that might work. The one thing I really like in my videos or my thumbnails is increasing texture, exaggerating on the texture. The vignette. I'll show you because I know I'm already gonna put it in there. Two ways to flip a coin, right? For the speaking of that, I started watching that series with South Osmodo and Indian Crusader that you mentioned. Lucky. I'm accidentally learning things. Let's go, dude. So I don't know what the free version consists of. The free version of Canva, I pay yearly. But the same thing can be done on Canva, which I have pulled up. This. So if you were to take these broken wings and learn to fly again. So this right here, if you edit, and I don't know. There we go. And then go to, oh, there you go, adjust. Yeah. You can do the same thing here. And I don't know if this is the free version, but you could, like, I could literally change it in a warmer or colder tone. And since you're learning something, or might learn something, anybody might learn something, you can change. So clearly this was, when I say clearly, this was like shot at 10 o'clock in the morning. I can make it so it's maybe in the evening or like golden hour, right? You could change it, or you can make it softer, like colder. So if you wanted to make it more, you'd have to change more stuff, like the maybe some of the brightness or whatever. You could make it like early morning hours or something. There's different ways to do that. But I'm trying to get away. Biggest thing was I was trying to get away from Canva because I realize now I can't because I use it for work too. There's a new program that I'm working on, and Canva helps quite a bit. There's certain aspects of it that I still need. So I'll just pay yearly. It is what it is. While paying Adobe monthly. Anyway, moving on, different topic. But I like to over exaggerate a little bit. It's YouTube, right? So this is like the only time I exaggerate. Well, not true. Outside of my personality, I guess. Like if I was to make this picture, I wouldn't touch the like how you can bump up the clarity like this. That it has to obviously, like, it has to stick out. You do really like an excellent job talking to Lucky here in the chat. If anybody watches the playback or anybody else that watches, like, you have to obviously exaggerate. You have to get the click. You have to make your book worth picking up and reading. Right, one of those deals. I always joke, like years ago, talking about my brother and I going to the rent a scary movie at movie time before Blockbuster. And it was like you'd always go to like the scariest, like the gory or the scary monster or something like that. Like you gravitated towards that, and we judged a book by its cover. We judged the movie by its cover. We didn't read the back. We just said, "Oh, we gotta see this. Gotta see this." You know, it's one of those things. I remember there was this. I can't tell you what the title is because that's a different. That's it's the picture, the title, you know, whatever. But I can't tell you what the title was, but I can tell you the book itself, the book, the VHS cover itself at movie time. You could push a button and the eyes would light up. And of course, you know, we're 10 years old, 7, 8 years old. We're gonna gravitate towards that and like we want this, we want this, we want this. Grab the movie and go. So that's that. All right. And then I was gonna tell you vignette. I'm a big fan of this. So essentially, vignette is what, and you can do this in Canva too, but it brings like the corners in as far as it darkens the corners or it brightens the corners depending on how you want to do it. So show you real quick. If I want to darken the corners, okay, you can go like this, almost like an eye, which you don't want it. You want it more subtle, and then you can make it white like this. I think I've done this like twice. One I was talking about somewhat like of a dream or something, and you make it a little more subtle. I don't typically do white. This one you just do a little bit here. So without, that's normal shot, and bring it like this. And what you're doing, or what you're said to do, is you're bringing the eye closer to what you want people to look at instead of seeing the whole picture, for example. So I'm not necessarily zooming in, but I might want to do, you know, I might want to darken it down. Sun flare looks pretty cool, and you're not doing it as dramatic as that. Now, if you made a video where it looked like it was like first person view, out of just one of your eye, for example, this would be kind of cool. But like I said, we're gonna do just a little subtle, um, probably darker once again, darker than what I would do. 14 minutes. Here we go. Lucky. Yeah, I never play around with adjusting this stuff. I snag a screenshot and think, yeah, that I think it makes sense. Slap some text over it and then let it rip. Yeah, and honestly, so like I've done that in like well, this is it right now. I'm doing it right now. So episode 132, 132 episodes later, and I'm still doing it. All my lives that I do are essentially, or since I started numbering them, are are, uh, are essentially like a screenshot of the one before. So I mean, not that it really matters, but it literally, like, I don't go back and change it, make it, you know, that shirt I was wearing, and then update the thumbnail. It's really not that big of a deal. And I don't even advertise my stuff like that. But this right here, I need a picture of the Honda Shadow. Like you need the Honda Shadow, the Mean Streak, the Boom Vader. By the way, that post made me laugh. Either your Dumb and Dumber post or whatever. How you think you look or how you feel and how you look as Ghost Rider, flames everywhere, you know, throwing his chain, and then how people see you with Jim Carrey. It's awesome. All that matters is, and you mentioned before that you're having fun, so it's badass. Who cares? That's, you know what? We're at the age. I'm calling you out because you're with me. We're at the age where like stuff really doesn't matter. Honestly, what matters now is or what will matter is, did I take my blood pressure medicine? Did I take my medication for this and that? Like, this is the only medicine that I have, so I'm doing all right. But we're at the age now where like it really doesn't matter. It's pretty funny. Oh man. All right, so we are good. I actually don't know button that you can see. I knew how to do it on my phone, like the original picture. Let me look this up real quick. Press. Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah. I love this. So on my phone, all I gotta do is press and hold the screen for Lightroom. But like that's what we're looking at before, the dull image as far as like color and everything, looking into the sun with the shadow. So it's like kind of like the worst case scenario. And then you get something like this. Yeah, I'm not changing it. Clarity bump, texture, vignette, grain, if you wanted to add some grain to it. Can't really see. I can't tell any difference there. Sharpening. This is the other thing. So if you start, the biggest thing here is I'm pointing to, like you can see it. The biggest thing is if you look at the road, if you can see it. Doesn't show up super well. We're gonna do without it. Sometimes I do that, and you can see like the individual, like I guess like the call it nooks and crannies of the gravel. Excuse me. Oh man, that's old school dab. We'll leave that. And and then another thing that's pretty cool is like I've used this actually in the last video. Like if you really want to see like the foreground and portray in the what are we at, 10 minutes? 30 minutes is quick because I ramble so much. If you want to see like focus on the foreground, you can blur the background. So like changing, there you go, estimated the depth. So then you can change how much you want. You can blur the foreground and expose the background, for example. Like there you go. So now I blurred the background. In the foreground, you can see me. I'm still like in focus, vivid in focus, but we don't want to do that. I think that's it. We're gonna export this. Coming back. I'm coming back. Yeah. Heartburn medicine, acid, acid reflux. Yep. That's the only thing that matters. See, that's going. And then I guess I could see like the final. Oh, it doesn't matter. All right. So last time I'll show you like the before and after. So before, boom, cool. All right. For thumbnails, I don't typically look at the scale over here as far as balance and color because it's not true to color necessarily how I would do it. Although it's not bad, it's just up to the artists themselves, right? Oh yeah, dude. So lucky, like these people, and I mentioned it, like their whole attics must be full. And I say their attics, it's probably like some of these rich neighborhoods where they spend like $1,000 in storage, and it's like they have like 3 storage units or something. Oh yeah, well, the first month's free. You just had to have you got to be there for at least a year. Okay, but then they bust this out, and then they got a storage for Halloween, Christmas, what have you. All right, I'll be back. I'll be back on Christmas for this. They have a Jeep here too. They got a Lucky Aces Jeep, and they had a bunch of skeletons on there too. Okay, so I guess the last thing I need to do in 7 minutes, probably need to pull up. Now I'll bring Photoshop over to the mix. So now I got to do the rascal. Put in a episode number. Where are we gonna put this? Hmm. I'll figure that out. Yeah, there you go. See, yeah, the original definitely washed out. So, and that's just a GoPro with auto ISO, so it keeps track of your lighting, how much light's coming in, constant. I think the auto bitrate, I think, no, bitrate was high, so it should give me the ability to. It's not the same as shooting in RAW where you color grade later, and RAW is like the best for photography. If I was going to color grade everything, the problem with doing that is, or like, sort of having indie filters and putting, which I haven't messed with, but it's sort of putting indie filters, basically like sunglasses on your GoPro, depending on the severity of the sun, the lighting and all that stuff, how cloudy it is, depending on, if it's a bright sunny day, you might be using the indie filter, the higher one, 32 versus the 4, I think it goes down to 4. But I'm in and out of, you know, shadows here and stuff. So to make the ISO one, like just 100, and not use, instead of auto where it's bouncing between 100 and 800. I think that's my max is 800, to try to kind of open up that sensor, and it's almost not quite artificial light, but in a way, I guess it kind of can be, especially at night. But you get grainy images and stuff, so which they call it noise and all that. But anyway, yeah, definitely washed out before. But it's one thing to like color grade or color correct an image, an individual still. It's another thing to color grade you, because you can't, in a 20-minute video or 10-minute video, like you going to parking garage is different than revving the boom Vader. I always want to say Raider, boom Vader, and then going to the top of the garage where the sun is going to be completely different. So if you don't have that auto, and it's little things like it's more like the motovlog, like niche is not more, the color has to be perfect, whatever, as it would be if it was the whatever you name it, like the photography or videography niche or something or whatever, where people are not critiquing your colors. You know what I mean? So it's just a preference or whatever. I don't know. That's a tangent. I can't go there. Oh, okay. I read ahead. Along your sleeve, side of the wagon, street curb, or on the tombstone. Oh yeah, let's do. All right, let's do the sleeve. Sleeve may not be that legible with the wrinkles, but we're gonna rock with it. So the thing is here. Gotta remember. Always gotta remember how to do this. I do it. Oh, you can see my dog hair. Oh, wrong shoulder. Dog hair. I'm covered in dog hair, actually. All right, let's go back. So let's do. Hmm, where'd it go? So I need to change this off camera. Running out of time. I'm out of time. He's got 2 minutes left. Told you I'm gonna be strict to it. The goal is not to like. So I'll probably do it off camera, but it's I want to do an outline to it. I'll probably make it white and then add the transparency to it, so that it kind of blends in with the sleeve itself. That's kind of what I'll end up doing. I'd love to go back to school for cinematography, yes, or something like that at this point. Well, the best part, Lucky, is I could plug it. I could do a plug for myself, but uh, YouTube University, man. I've learned so much about that. My buddy 5 Day Photography. I guess we're getting that tangent. We'll kind of stop. But my buddy 5 Day Photography, him and like all the stuff he's learned, he's allowed me to share. He's shared some of his knowledge to me, allowed me to ask questions. He's like a phone call away when it comes to it. It's a lot of like trial and error, seeing other stuff, and the fun thing is So I was watching. I went down a rabbit hole watching a bunch of like Breaking Bad clips on YouTube today because I watch one. And of course, YouTube pops everything else up. Almost like watching a Lucky Aces video, and then a bunch of other Lucky Aces videos come up. So I was watching a bunch of them, and like the end scene, there's a scene where Hank and Walter, right? Walter White, main character. I haven't heard said their names in so long since that TV show came out, but they're in a scene together, and it's towards the end of the series. So obviously stuff like that, the stuff happens. They confront, what's going on, blah blah blah, whatever. In case nobody's seen it, and one of the characters is in the dark, like the shadow is on the face. Like if if I'm the camera, or well, the cameras. Let's make it easy. The camera's the camera. Anyway, well, one of their faces is lit, right? So they put a light here, okay, just like I'm looking. This person's in the know, and then the other person, is in the shadow. There's no fill light, nothing like that. And when I watched the series the first time, which was after it had debuted and ended, like several years after it had gone off air on FX, I think it was. I watched it on Netflix with my wife, and I didn't think anything of it. Now, by having the ear, the eye for certain things, and I'm small potatoes when it comes to it. And it's like every time I start messing with it, this the same thing is like, oh look, he's over. Surprise. It's cool that it doesn't. Um, like I see now, I'm small potatoes, but I'm able to pick up on certain things. And there's still like I could watch that series again and pick something else up. It's no different than watching a movie and the ending, so there's certain things that are like context clues or foreshadowing that you never would have thought of when you watched it the first time, and you pick up little things in movies. It's the same thing as when you're looking at the score, right? The music, the same thing as the color grading, color correcting. What they do. Batman, was it DC? How they have like a darker theme. So this thumbnail is more like that, where they shoot everything a little bit darker, gritty kind of thing. Whereas like the Avengers was bright, vivid colors, right? Saturation, the vibrance was everything. Captain America, a bright blue or deep blue, a bold red, white, shield for the star and all that stuff. Like whereas DC, they needed a way to stand out because Marvel was way ahead and still is ahead in DC. And those who would argue, well, DC keeps having to do reboots, right? The new Superman, if you've seen his costume and the way they shot that, it's not the same as the old Superman where, um, oh, I forgot the guy's name, but he's the one that did uh, Dawn of the Dead, the remake, which I didn't talk about the other night. Kind of ran out of time, but the one with Ving Rhames in it, and they're in the mall and everything. Like that was 2000 something. Let's say 2003. Making a number. Early 2000 when that movie came out. Well, they do these reboots, but they have to stand. They keep. Well, that's a different. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm trying to get this in. I'm trying to throw this in there. Let me drink this and I'm done. He's all over the place. Give him a handlebar. Let him ride down the road. Um, they keep having to do reboots because they're trailing behind. They're not catching up, or they're not what the Avengers are. And now they're. I don't know if they're at the point. Some could argue like to steal like an artist, where they're, or if you can't beat them, join them, because now Superman's back to, it's kind of a comedy a little bit. Some scenes are comedic, just like Marvel, where DC really didn't have any comedy when it was darker and grittier and stuff. And now, his costume's back to being bright, vibrant colors. The same. If you didn't know the two characters, you would think that it could be a Marvel movie. How bright the costume is and how everything is seen. Not like Gotham City, where everything is like, it's rainy, it's dark, puddles everywhere and stuff like that. A lot of night scenes and stuff. So anyway, I guess we'll stop there. We'll end it there. What do you got here? I'd recommend JET Films here on YouTube. The guy builds Harleys. Chaco Style, his filming and editing style is awesome. Okay, yeah, absolutely. And that's the thing. Like that's it. It's a saying. It's like steal like an artist. You don't copy for the sake of copying. You get ideas. There's so many ideas out there. If I were to make a film or an episode or whatever you want to call it, if I were to make an episode and do a certain transition, I'm trying to think of an example or a certain cut that somebody else does, and I like the way it looks. Well, my overall video is my own. But if I did like a cut, like when I have it's basically like, here's an example. I got it from the guy was talking about game. This is like years ago. He was talking about gaming scenes, like how he did a push and then blurred it and then went to the next scene because he had to find a way to make scenes go from one entity to the next, and how like a motovlog. If one scene is me riding down the road at 45 miles an hour at the posted speed limit of 45 miles an hour, and then the next scene is me talking about it. I cut everything else out, and I'm at a stoplight. That's an abrupt scene to scene change, right? Night and day. So you have to find a way to do that. So that's what I got. I saw that it was for gaming. It wasn't a motovlog or anything like that. Not saying it couldn't have been, but you get that idea from that. There's so many ideas like movies and stuff. Everything's been done. Everything's been done. They're making remakes to make remakes of remakes. All the ideas are out there. It's just, can you take that idea and tweak it a little bit to make it your own? So it's not copyright plagiarism, all this other stuff. There was I said yesterday, like I deleted all like YouTube, like the YouTube channels that I watched that were like advice and stuff. Cause it was just polluting my time, to a point. I went into that yesterday, so I don't need to go into it again. But one of them slipped through the cracks. I saw it today, and I clicked it, and then like 30 seconds in, I unsubscribed and deleted it from my history. So hopefully it won't come back. And it's just one of those things. Like they're all the same. They're all the same. They spin it a certain way. They change the order. So, but they're all giving the same advice. But essentially, what I did was, now, and it's to the detail in my own head. No, I'm not saying anybody else like notices it, or maybe they do. But if when I have a video that goes, and I'll stop here because I'm 6 minutes over. I don't ever want to end one of these 30 minutes in the middle of a conversation. That's kind of what I'm getting at. But if I cut and I want to go back in time to a previous episode, what I do is I do a page turn, okay? And it's just, the page only turns one way, okay, in Premiere Pro. But you can hit a reverse button to make it go the other way. So if I'm going back in time, I peel the page like you're going back in the book. And then when I go back to present day, excuse me, when I go back to present day, I peel that same page, but I don't reverse it. So then it peels forward. So literally it looks like you're going back from the book and then you're going forward back into present day. And there's little stuff like that. The same thing if I'm doing a push. I want to make sure if I'm pushing from left to right, so from left to right, then I'm going backwards. If I'm going from right to left, I want to make sure I'm going forward. So yeah, that's what I have, and that's what I've always done. And it's like subtle things like that. And that's another reason why it probably takes quite a bit more time for me to edit videos, is because of, the way I edit videos. So, but anyway, no, Lucky, since you're here and we've been talking, I appreciate you stopping by. I appreciate anybody watching the playback and all that stuff. I was gonna get on like how you do your outlines I almost said like a heart. How you do your outlines of either you or the bike or something like that. That's the same thing as the vignette where it draws eyes in. So that's excellent. How you do that? How you do your thumbnails? Like you have the same style, essentially the same or roundabout same style. So like I can see, and that's one thing that I don't do and I struggle with is I brag about your outros are like awesome, perfect, and then how you always know exactly what video is next. But also could be said, I can scroll through a bunch of videos, not just motovlogs, but a bunch of videos, and know which one is yours because you have that same like common theme and stuff. So I was gonna tinker with putting my logo somewhere like in a corner, because mine are so like vastly different. And I enjoy that. I enjoy that they're different because it's just, for me, like, this is what I enjoy doing. I think the creative aspect and all that stuff. So um not that you or somebody else doesn't have it, because like I said, like you do your thumbnails a certain way and how you want the eye to go, even if it's subconsciously. Like everybody's making what you think looks good is because that's your opinion. That's my opinion that this looks good, that I want to do this. But Uh, Even if you don't say it out loud, that's subconsciously you going into that. So I think I'll end it there. What do you got here? I'll read this last one. I learned to keep it the same style thumbnail from those ones with, oh yeah, one of those. I have to like scroll up and get past the heart again. I didn't put the chat up here. One of those how-to YouTube channels. Yeah, same with the outro. Absolutely. And that's the branding. That's why I say like, and that's a good thing. There's nothing wrong. Like your outros link somebody else to, curiosity, driving that person to the next video. And I don't do that. And if I could do it like the way you do it, absolutely, that would be like perfect. But I never have like I don't shoot that way. Mine's I'd be much better if it was more purposeful. Like like link these together. So you do like you keep doing seriously, keep doing what you're doing, man. It's awesome. You don't need me to say it. I just think that it's like because like videos that I haven't seen that when you reference, especially like the past ones and stuff, when you talk about, if you want to see how like how we the Honda Shadow started out, way back when or something. I enjoy seeing other people's videos and seeing like I talked to Moto Alley today and seeing like his video today versus his video, 2 years ago or something. So we were kind of joking about that a little bit today. Um, but yeah, same thing about the intro and all that stuff. I'd already talked about your thumbnails and everything, but hey, 40 minutes, 40 minutes and 20 seconds. Not bad. Not bad for a 30-minute stream. Yeah. The math is not mathing, right? But this is kind of my goal is to let me do this. Boom. This is my goal is to kind of come on, a couple times here and there between the 3 weeks and not just do one every 3 weeks. Kind of more a lot more well, I say like the 2 hours one is kind of like structured to give me something to talk about. This might be I might work on something and then stop working on something and just chat. If people are here, one of those things. I did want to get this done because I do want to post it. I may post it tonight. It won't take long to I don't even know if I'll put I might not even put any words on here. And if I do, it might be one or two because there's just so much going on here that I may just let it fly and just leave the episode. So I'll work on that off screen. Thank you, Lucky, for stopping by. Anybody else that stopped by? I didn't look to see numbers and all that stuff. And if you watch the playback, hello. All right, y'all have a great night. I'll talk to you soon or talk to you when this goes live. All right. Take it easy. Stop streaming.